In today's video, I will be talking about wiring a single pole light switch. There are basically two methods of wiring a light switch. In the first method, the power goes to the switch first and then goes to the light. The second method is when the power goes to the light box first and then goes to the switch. I will cover both of them. At the same time, I will be providing wiring diagrams for both of these methods. Stay tuned and watch the video until the end. This is an important caution. The procedure shown in this video is for information and education purposes only. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring or electrical equipment, I would strongly suggest that you hire a licensed electrician. Working with electrical wiring or equipment can be dangerous and can cause serious injury if not handled properly. Before undertaking any kind of electrical work, always make sure that you follow your local electrical safety code. In the first part of the video, I will show how the wiring is done when the power is coming from the power source to the switch first and then it goes to the light fixture. In the second part, I will show you how the wiring is done when the power is coming first to the light switch and then it travels back to the switch and then from switch goes back again to the light. This video is about the basics of electrical wiring. I'm not going into the details of how the professional electricians run the wires through drywalls or drywall studs. For that, there are a number of very good videos on YouTube. You can watch them. Before I actually show the wiring methods, I'll use a whiteboard and draw the wiring diagrams to see how theoretically they work. As I said earlier, there are two methods of wiring a single pole light switch. The first method is when the power goes to the switch and then to the light, and the second method is when the power goes to light first and then to the switch. This is the wiring diagram for the first method. This is the most common method of wiring a single pole light switch. To start with, power comes from the power source using a 14-2 wire. That power source may be another light switch or an outlet box. The 14-2 wire actually has three wires: bare copper, ground, a black wire and a white wire. Unfortunately, I cannot write white on white, so I'm using blue color for the white. This 14-2 wire goes into the switch box first. The ground wire is connected to the ground terminal of the switch and it looks like this. It's a green terminal. This is a normal toggle switch, traditional switch, and this is Leviton Decora type switch. In both of these switches, the green terminal, the green screw here is the ground screw. On the other side, we have two brass terminals. Normally, incoming black wire is connected to the bottom terminal and the outgoing wire going to the light is connected to the top terminal. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will be using a Leviton Decora switch. In the switch box, the incoming black wire or hot wire is connected to the lower terminal of the switch, this one here. From the switch box, another 14-2 wire goes to the light box. The ground wire from that 14-2 wire is connected to the ground wire coming from the power source. The white wire coming from the light box is also connected directly to the white wire coming from the power source. The black wire from the light box is connected to the upper terminal of switch, this one. When the switch is turned on, the incoming black hot wire is connected to the outgoing black hot wire going to the light box. These two wires get connected and the circuit gets completed like this. This wiring method will be same whether you are using a single light bulb like the one I'm showing there, or a series of hot lights which are wired in parallel, or a ceiling fan. A single light bulb is normally not grounded, but if you have a light fixture like a chandelier or bathroom vanity light, that may have a ground connection. If the light bulb or light fixture that you are using is not having a ground connection, then the ground wire is directly connected to the outlet box. So this is the first of the two methods to connect a single pole light switch. This is the second method of wiring a single pole light switch. In this method, power first comes into the light box using a 14-2 wire, travels to the switch box using a 14-3 wire, and then comes back to the light box. This is also called a switch loop. The incoming power uses a 14-2 wire. The white wire is directly connected to one of the terminals in the light box. The ground is also connected to the ground terminal of the light if there is any. If there is no ground terminal in the light, then the ground is connected only to the light box. Now the black wire from the 14-2 wire, incoming black hot wire, is connected to the red wire of the 14-2 cable, which is further connected to the bottom terminal of the switch. Now the black wire from the 14-3 cable is connected to the upper terminal of the switch, and on the other side the same black wire is connected to the other terminal of the light. The white wire from the incoming 14-2 wire is connected to one of the terminals of the light, as well as it is connected to the white wire of the 14-3 cable. This white wire is left as is in the switch box. It is not connected to the switch in any way. It is left there for future use because some of these smart switches need a neutral wire connection. So in case somebody wants to replace this switch with a smart switch, the white wire will be used. Let's see how the current flows. The black hot wire carries the current up to the light box. From the light box, the red wire from the 14-3 cable takes the current to this terminal. The switch is turned on. These two are connected. The black wire from the 14-3 wire now takes the current back to the light. It may be a bulb, light fixture, or it may be a fan. So this is the second method of wiring a single pole light switch. Next, we will see how actual wiring connections are done on our demonstration wall. Now that we have seen the wiring diagrams, I'll show you how to wire them actually on this demonstration wall. This video is not about how the professional electricians run their wires through studs. This is first of the two methods that I showed you earlier on my whiteboard. The incoming power uses a 14-2 wire, goes into the switch box, and then another 14-2 wire goes to the load or the light box. So let's do the wiring. I will always take this precaution before starting the wiring. First things first, I will check that the power is not on in the switch box. I'll be using my Klein Tools touchless voltage tester. Here it is. Turn it on and make sure that the power is actually off. This is the power in from the circuit breaker, the black wire, neutral wire, and ground, and there's nothing here. That means it is safe to work on this circuit. I will strip off these wires about half an inch. 14 gauge wire, so I'll keep it at 14 on this side, which says solid wire. A little more than half an inch of stripped copper is enough. We don't have to do anything with the bare copper wire, which is ground. I will move them aside. Next, we will connect the ground wire first. This is a metal box. If you have a plastic box, the procedure will be little different. The ground wire will be directly connected to the switch. In the metal box, the ground wire is connected to the box as well as the switch. Twist them together. Use a plier. Now I can cut one of them. I will take one more small piece of bare copper wire, make a loop on one side, just like that. And this will go into the box to ground the box. Twist this wire as well with the other two wires and cut the extra wire. Next, we will connect this ground wire to the switch. For the purpose of this video, I'm using this Leviton Decora switch, which has a ground terminal on this side, the green screw. This specific switch has a brass strip here. When I tighten the screw, this brass strip will help me ground the whole switch to the box, because the box is already grounded with this screw, with this bare copper wire. To connect this, I'll make a small loop. Now I will join these two together using a wire nut. Twist the wires together. Cut off the extra bare copper and use a wire nut to connect these two. I can now push this wire inside the box. Next, we will connect the black wires. The black wire coming from the power source, the circuit breaker, is this one, and the other black goes to the light. It doesn't matter which one goes on which screw, but as a convention, we normally keep the line in, or the hot wire coming from the circuit breaker, at the bottom, and the top one goes to the light. In Decora type switches, there are three ways to connect the wire. There's a little hole here. You can just push the bare copper inside this hole, but this is not preferred by professional electricians. The wire may come out after some time. Second method is to make a loop around the screw and tighten it. And the third method is to put this wire under brass strip, just under this strip. I will use this method for this demonstration. The line in goes under the strip like that. Just make sure that the sleeve doesn't go under the brass strip. I'll use a screwdriver to make sure they are properly tightened. Pull them a bit. Perfect. Next I will use black tape and wrap it around the terminals. 1 or 2 wraps are more than sufficient. This is just to make sure that these two terminals don't come in contact with either the box or the bare copper ground wire. When done, just push it inside, push the wires inside, and for now I'm keeping it here. So once again, strip about half an inch of wire, white wire and the black wire. If you have only a bulb, then it will have only two terminals, black hot wire and white neutral wire. I can directly connect these two wires, black hot and white neutral, to these two terminals here. But for the purpose of this video, I will first connect the ground wire to the box and then connect these separately to the light holder, lamp holder or light holder. I'll make a loop of the ground wire, connect it to the ground terminal, ground screw here. There are two types of screws here, brass screws for the hot and silver screws for the neutral. Twist the wires together, cut the extra bare copper wire and use a wire nut to make the connection. Same procedure for the white neutral wires as well. Some electricians prefer to put a black tape around these two wire nuts as well. I'll keep it here for demonstration purposes. So let me connect a bulb here. Let me show you again what I have done. The 14-2 wire coming from the power source or the circuit breaker goes into the switch box, and also a 14-2 wire from the switch box goes to the light box. The ground wire from the power source is connected to the ground wire which is going to the switch, and they are both connected to the box. The black hot wire from the power source is connected to one of the two brass terminals of the switch. The black hot wire which is going to the load or line is connected to the upper brass terminal of the switch. In this switch box, the white wire is not connected to the switch in any manner. The white wire coming from the power source is directly connected to the white wire going to the light. Wiring is complete. Line up the screws one by one and tighten them. Leviton Decora switches don't come with wall plates, so we have to buy the wall plates. This is the wall plate I'm going to install here. Circuit breaker is on. This is a working example. So that completes the first part of the video. In the next part, I will show you the second method of wiring the light switch when the power first goes into the light fixture and then goes to the switch. In the second part of the video, I will explain how the wiring is done when the power first goes to the light box, travels back to the switch and then goes back again to the light box. This is also called a switch leg or switch loop. We will see the electrical wiring for a switch leg or switch loop. In this demonstration wall, I have already laid out the cables. Power in from the source or the circuit breaker uses a 14-2 wire, goes to the light box. These are the two wires, black hot, white neutral and the ground wire. After that, from junction box for the light fixture, we take a 14-3 cable with black, red and white wires along with the ground. It goes to the switch. Let's see how the wiring is done. Safety first. I will always check with my touchless voltage tester that the power is actually off. This is the line in, power in. No power here, no power here either. Nothing on this side. So it is safe to work on this wiring. I'll take care of the ground wires first. I made a small pigtail with a small loop here. Connect it to the ground screw in the junction box. These wires are extra long. Twist them together. Make sure they are twisted properly. I'll cut one of them and I'll take a Wago wire net, insert it and press the lever. Second wire as well. Pull up the lever, insert the wire and push it down. And I'll push it all the way inside. I'll take the white neutral wire, both from the power source and the one which is going to the switch. This time I'm using a 3 connector Wago 11 nut connector. One by one, push these wires into the connector and press the lever down. For the third one, I'll take a small pigtail and insert it again into the Wago 11 nut connector. This particular pigtail now goes to one of the terminals, to the silver terminal of the light fixture. Should go in the direction of the screw, clockwise direction. Press it a little bit. Just make sure it is tightened properly. Leave it here for now. Next we have to take the line from the black wire to the switch. For that I'll use the red wire from the 14-3 cable and the black wire from the power coming in. Once again I'll use a Wago 3-pin 11 nut connector. From here onwards the red wire is carrying the current, the line to the switch. On this side I'll know now that the red wire is the hot wire coming in from the power source. Through the switch the black wire will go back and here it will get connected to the light fixture. So I can connect this wire to light fixture now. Once again I will take a small pigtail and make this connection. Just insert the wire, press the lever down and make sure it is tight. The black wire coming from the switch is connected. Make sure they are firmly tight. This black pigtail is now connected to the light fixture. Make a loop here. Black goes to the brass terminal. Snip it a bit and tighten the screw. Make sure it is properly connected. Coming to this side, we will connect the switch now. It doesn't matter which one is connected to line and which one is connected to load, but as a convention, the line is normally connected to the bottom terminal. I'll strip these wires and then make the connections. About half an inch or little more than half an inch, 5/8 of an inch is sufficient. Ground connection first. Now we know that our red wire is carrying the current directly from the circuit breaker, so that will go down. I'll use this brass strip. I'll push the wire under the brass strip and then tighten the screw. Black wire goes to the upper terminal. The white wire in this scenario is not used. It will stay here as it is. So with a 2-pin Wago 11 nut connector, I'll insert the white wire here, press the lever. This second pin will stay here for future use. So just push it inside. Little black tape is always better. Gently push the wires back. Align the screws with the box and tighten them. Cover plate, flat screw for the cover plate. On this side, gently push all the wires into the box. Now I will turn on the circuit breaker and check that it works. The circuit breaker is on. Let's see the light works or not. Here you go. This is how the switch loop or switch leg works. Power first goes into the light fixture using a 14-2 cable, travels to the switch using a 14-3 wire. From here it is looped back to the light fixture. That is called a switch loop. I hope this video was informative. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the content of this video, subscribe to my channel. That encourages me to make more DIY videos. I'll see you in next video. Until then, please take care.